I almost ended the stream. I was almost like,
oh
no,
no,
right into the stream. Dirt.
It happens to the best of us.
Jesus Christ, I'm a certifiable mess today.
Woo!
Somebody got a big old mess on their hand.
Well, you know who else is a mess? The corpse that rises from the grave in this fantastic movie.
Johnny.
From your grave. So yeah, welcome everybody. It's me, Creeping Colin, with your loud killer.
Straight up killer.
Killer bees on the set. Way different thing. But we're talking tonight.
It's similar. It's both awesome.
Both are awesome. Sorry about the echo. This room's very echoey that I'm in right now, but
you're good, man.
That's good. Tonight we're talking
baby.
In a violent nature. It is violent, and there's a lot of nature.
There is
a title that lives up.
Yeah, it's like I bet it would be David Attenborough's favorite slasher movie.
He'd be loving this movie. Look at the beautiful flora all over the woods we have.
And now we watch as Johnny makes his way through the woods, following behind stupid teenagers who have no idea they're being stalked.
Watch as the killer departs into the placid coolness of the lake, only to pull down the young maiden who is there bathing.
Johnny is a complete maniac, but has been baited but has been baited by idiot teens. All right.
By idiot teens.
Yeah. Let's do our jam here, big guy.
Yeah.
You want to go first? You got the timer ready? You ready to do this?
Oh, okay. Oh, hold on. Oh, I forgot. Yes.
You're like, I'm unprepared for this. This is you caught me by surprise. Not cool, man.
Are we doing a minute or are we doing minute 20?
Minute, because it's a regular ass movie.
Oh, okay. All right.
And there's two of us doing the same movie, so I don't feel like we
True.
I feel like we need no extra time for this.
Boom. In a violent nature. Freaking radical. It starts out. What we got? POV, sort of, not kind of. Yeah, I guess we're following the killer throughout the entire movie. It's a slow burn, that's for sure. Some pretty wicked, wild kills that happen. We got basically a Jason-esque character plodding through the woods after his rest or maybe confinement into the forest soil has been disturbed. Oh shit, I fucked it up and I made it an hour. God damn it, me. Okay, hold on.
Start again.
You guys didn't see this. All right. Okay, here we go. So, in a violent nature, it's violent and there's a lot of nature. We follow a guy named Johnny. We don't learn that till later that his name is Johnny, but he's a Johnny, that's for sure. What does that mean? I don't know. It's up for you to figure out. But here we go. His rest is disturbed, or his confinement. We don't know yet. Locket stolen off a pipe. One of the coolest scenes ever follows where he just gets out of this little thing. Goes on a rampage through the woods, very slow, very menacing, but no one can stop him. Everyone's freaking the fuck out. It's wonderful. Few people know what's up. They're kind of onto it, know what they need to do. Oh, I heard of this. This happened way before. Yoga kill, log splitting kill. Old dude in a decrepit house goes first, and it's amazing. Then later, big, cool, violent thing at the end. And I loved it. I hope there's a sequel. I think they're making one. And that's my time right now.
Whew. You made me tired just listening to you.
I was trying to do Micro Machines guy, but I couldn't.
You knocked Micro Machines guy out of the water at that. All right. I suppose you'll want me to do mine.
Let me know when you're ready.
I am now prepared. Tell me it's my turn.
Okay. In 3, 2, 1, go.
So, In a Violent Nature, it is an ambient horror movie. It is built upon the premise of almost every 80s slasher you've ever seen. The key to it, though, is it's done in a fashion where you're actually following the killer throughout the entirety of the movie. Um, Sometimes over the shoulder in almost like a video game style. Sometimes you're just viewing him from different angles from afar. He is the main character. That's the key. The murderer is your primary character, and to the point where you are given moments of potential empathy with said killer. Um, it's gory. It's on the 10. It's violent. It's very unusual and it's very good, and I do also highly recommend it.
Oh my goodness, you had like 10 seconds to spare, my friend.
Yeah, I have this weird thing where like I don't
But you
really
rocked it.
I don't really plan anything. So when we do these sometimes, I just like go, okay, I'm just gonna say exactly what's on my mind right now.
Yeah, no, you did a beautiful job.
Well, thank you. You did a beautiful job.
Yeah.
You're beautiful.
You're beautiful.
Uh, so let's get into it, man.
Would you believe that in a violent nature? Yeah. Okay, so this movie is it hits a lot of genre tropes, but it also it felt so fresh and so different.
And clean.
It's so fresh and so clean. It's a very much a slow movie, but I think that works really in the film's favor. As you really have to sit in it, and see this long journey of this guy through a day, I believe,
Yeah.
maybe two. But it's
No, I think you're right. I think it is 2 days.
yeah, and you see him like you in the course of what would have been like possibly like 3 Friday the 13th movies, we get this guy building a legend in the course of like one, and I'd say even by the halfway point of the movie, he's the full-fledged maniac that we have in our background behind us. Finds this amazing mask that is, I believe it's an old fireman's like helmet in some way, and it's perfect. It is such a instant classic of a mask. One of the coolest scenes ever. So is this guy's resurrection or release, however you want to see it. So we see like it opens up really cold. You don't even see the humans, you don't see the meat, what they're up to. Just kind of they're in the background, just making dialogue. It doesn't seem like it has any sort of weight to what's happening. We're focused on this old, decrepit, kind of ramshackle shack, and there is.
Ramshackle like a ding dong.
I think the camera then focuses on this locket or necklace of some sort. I believe it's a locket that is like just perfectly nestled on this pipe, and we see it grabbed, and there might be some dialogue that follows about like a guy giving it to a girl or something like that, and then quiet. The people just leave, and we are left with just the sounds of nature flooding in. And then slowly but surely, the pipe starts to wiggle, 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 until Johnny just rises out of the grave in just ponderous fashion, but it is completely enthralling. And just slowly makes his way through the woods towards, probably, I think, making his way towards, but through some supernatural sense, towards the locket.
I didn't all the way feel that, but I did feel like something was driving him, because when we get to the first set piece, Jonathan goes in a house, sees a locket, and you're like, that's not like dude, that locket's not your locket.
Yeah.
And which is, I thought that was really played well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That idea that this no longer person is just on a mission, you know.
Yeah. And he's a big hulking boy. He is a big dude, and you can see from we never. I don't think we get a clear shot of his face.
We get close a few times.
Yeah.
There is the scene with him playing with the car, which I think is one of the most genius things we've seen in one of these slashers, where they've used the trope of, you know, disabled child is brought back from the dead.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yes.
The virgin angel is, you know, we see Jason in Friday the 13th once as a child, and then he's basically just a thing. He is an avenging angel, more or less. There is no, you know, we never get to see Jason as a person.
No.
And the thing we get with this character, which I think makes him interesting, is, you know, at no point do we see Jason with any humanity.
No, never. Jason
Whereas
is
this character we do.
Yeah. Yes, I completely forgot about that scene. But when he's playing with that toy car in much the way of very childlike. He is so entertained by it, and it is something that feels very dear to him while he's looking at that.
I also loved that if those people just would have been quiet, he may have never stopped playing with that car. But it was the fact that one of them got loud, called somebody else stupid. That's the thing I thought was also genius. There was this almost feeling of like he's heard that a lot before from people, so he was like, "Oh, well, now you gotta fucking die."
Yeah.
Now you gots to go.
Well, I think even that first guy that the first victim is this guy living in this just shit house, and we get a sense that he is a real fucking bastard. Probably a poacher.
The ranger comes, and is like, "I know you're poaching," and he's like, "What are you gonna fucking do about it?"
Yeah.
And
it's
obvious he's a shitbag.
Yeah, and there's a moment where you think Johnny's gonna go after the ranger because he sees the car, but I think he's more enthralled by the truck probably. And he
we learn later that he and that ranger have a bad history.
They do. I forgot. No, you're corrected me. Thank you.
Well, I mean, don't think about it that way. Just think about like that. You know, we're here to catch one another. And
no, but in the best way possible. So thank you for doing that. So he walks into the house and he gets in there unnoticed, and he finds that locket, and that seems. He picks it up, and it seems to be something very, very dear to him. And yeah, he has a brief memory of his dad, I believe, and I think his dad's a real shithead, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't think his dad was a shithead. I thought his dad was kind of a good.
Or was he a good guy?
Yeah.
Or was it the kids who?
It was the other loggers who were shitbags.
Yeah.
Who were complete shitbirds.
But this guy. Yeah.
I mean, that's the kind of the gist of the whole thing. Is it's again a justified monster.
Yeah. And like really, really justified. Like, we're like, say, like, I mean, just to keep it's hard to not compare him to Voorhees, but like
well, I think if they would have had their way, they would have made this a Jason movie. But the reality, it worked perfectly as a Jason movie. It would have, I mean, maybe humanize him more than whoever owns the rights would want him to.
Yeah.
But it would go a long ways.
Yeah.
To do something interesting and new with that franchise, which I think it's well overdue for something like that.
Yeah.
I also think that on top of that, just changing up the way those movies are shot, the way that those movies are at all kind of processed, I think it would have been a big deal. Now, I think the problem is that was never going to happen. So, because
and this is
Jason's in fucking rights hell. So,
yeah, unfortunately. But like this is like to speak to your point, this is beautifully shot. Like this is a really gorgeous movie. It looks so pretty.
Yeah, this movie's absolutely stunning to look at.
It is, and like the sound designs, like there's so much about it that's like just really, really good. That really, it feels. I don't know if it's. I don't think it's A24, but it feels like it could be.
It feels like something that A24 probably passed on.
Probably, yeah.
Because my guess is A24 passed on it because they weren't quite sure what these folks were trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
It like you said, it has that feel.
It's IFC Films. Okay, yeah. So hats off to them because this is nice. So getting back to it, the shitbird comes back in the house and he's like, "What the fuck you doing?" And then realizes he's faced with a literal monster and just fucking freaks out, runs into the woods, and is hoisted by his own petard as he runs into one of his own traps. And oh yeah, it does not go well for him, as he's, oh god, I loved this. This kill was so fun because the guy is like begging for mercy, and it's not going to happen for him. And
I think he knows it's not going to happen for him.
Oh yeah,
which is also kind of this ultimate moment of you reap what you sow.
Like this poacher is now about to get poached, and if I remember right, I think he's like, "I don't even know you," and stuff like that. Like, and Johnny finds one of those traps and snaps it on his face. I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that what he does? Yeah, it's great.
It's brutal. I mean, it is a brutal kill, and this movie is not fucking around with that. It's like, you came for the red stuff, you're gonna get it.
Super Spike. Another happy birthday to you, my friend. I know I've already wished you like 3 times.
Happy belated, my friend.
But so then we go. I think next we hit to the campfire where we catch up to the kids who had taken the locket, and they are kind of your stock, like, slasher kids for the most part, and they're there having beers and doing their thing. And I think they recount the story that Johnny is he's the I don't know how you'd put it, developmentally delayed or handicapped son of one of the guys in the area, and how he was tricked or chased up a fire tower, right? He climbs up to a fire tower. Oh, because they promised him toys or something.
Yeah. So Johnny is just developmentally disabled. His dad runs the lumber, the I don't know what you'd call it. It's like the logging camp. He runs
like the company store.
Yeah, the company store. That's right. Because it's a lot. It's back when, just like they would do with mining, they would trap these guys into contracts where these guys were getting paid, but they were so remote that the only place they could buy stuff from was from the company. So they're like, we'll pay you these wages, and then we'll jack up the prices in the store. So you're basically just giving us our money back. And it's a sad legacy of reality. And I thought that also, because they talk about, he mentions like that the dad had no say in that. He was just like, this is my job. And that they didn't do much they were kind of afraid to do anything to him, but they weren't afraid to do shit to his kid. So they tricked him.
No.
Because he was an easy target. They trick him.
Very easy.
Yeah. They trick him to go into the fire tower, watchtower. And then it goes wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Johnny passes. And then some murders happen. I think they attribute it to Johnny's dad, don't they?
No. So Johnny's dad gets into it with the guys, and he ends up dead.
Oh, that's right. That's yes. So full now, totally avenging angel. Yeah,
Yeah.
because
So
not just for
then
him, but his yeah.
it's like a couple years later. I believe it's a couple, not terribly long after, but long enough.
Yeah.
And yeah, all of a sudden they find that entire logging camp. Everybody's dead.
Everybody's dead, and yeah, and that's how the story goes for that. And so we come back.
Not everybody. One guy survives.
Yeah,
that's important.
Yes,
we have one survivor boy.
And yeah, and Johnny is a legend now because of this, and it's his vengeful, his spirit that they said did this. And as the guy who's telling the story, they all go into their cabin. That guy goes outside, runs into Johnny, and
one of the better kills I think in the whole movie.
Which one is this?
It's Johnny is behind a tree.
Yeah.
And dude is listening to his headphones.
Yep.
And smoking, and Johnny takes his saw, the saw you would use.
Doesn't he get him like
right? And cuts his head in half, cuts his face in half, which is really great. It's an excellent kill.
And then this is where he then drags his body to the ranger station, breaks into the ranger station, and this is where he gets the sweet freaking hooks that
this is where he basically gets his stuff. He
gets his Jason mask. Not a Jason, but that sweet fucking hood. I love that hood. I think it's so cool.
It's a really great look, and it's something that the beauty of it is it harkens back to other slasher villains. I mean, it's very much like, oh, this looks kind of like this and kind of like this and kind of like this.
It's
but
a big
it doesn't
pastiche.
Look exactly like any of them.
Yeah, you could
It's
say
got
there's
its own vibe.
Elements of like, say, the Prowler to it. Definitely like Jason from Part 2 with the bag. But there's just something else about it. Like I love. There's like those little like kind of like grating over the eye holes. Yeah. That is such a cool touch.
So one thing I would say too is one thing I really enjoyed about this movie, like I was blown away about it, was how much it felt like a lived-in world.
Yeah.
They did such a good job of basically going, telling the story, but then doing the thing I think like a lot of Jason movies, all the camp count, there was a murder at the camp type of guy movies.
Yeah.
Is they set like a tone, but it never feels like the events that happened had any impact on the world.
Yes. It's
this movie is like, oh, this shit happened and people still talk about it. And here's somebody, it feels like this movie, first of all, starts like we're feels like we're already like 3 movies in. And you've got the ranger who, it turns out his father was the survivor.
Yeah.
And he says, I can't remember if he says or we put you in the ground 10 years ago, we'll do it again.
Yeah.
And you almost feel like you're getting Tommy Jarvis without like any of the other stuff. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense?
Yeah. It'd be like if you ran into Tommy Jarvis in the Never Hike Alone movies without any context of who he was, really.
Yeah. Instead, you just
works,
get like Tommy telling you a story of like, oh, Jason's this guy and we did this stuff, but without you needing to watch like all the movies to get that.
Yeah. Yeah.
If that makes any sense. I don't feel like I'm making much sense.
Oh no, but I think no, it does. It does. Yeah, it's we're not watching the legend build. The legend is already there. We're seeing
the legend continue. We're seeing Boggy Creek 2, the legend continues. It's for my watchers out there.
We're just missing those short shorts on that professor. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man.
hopefully in the sequel.
Sometimes you got to show a little leg.
You
Sometimes you
gotta,
got to get
especially when
down
you're a
with the get
middle-aged man.
down.
Oh yeah. Um, but yeah, like also just to speak to like how it feels like such a lived-in world. It's like the things that happen are they, it's we we don't get like the music stings and things like that. There's not that like crazy score going on. It's just
It's an
like,
ambient movie.
yeah,
There's
it's
music,
it's
but the music is all music that's taking place in the world at that
yeah,
moment.
it's diegetic to the world itself. So it's to throw a big word out there. It's it's really the killer and the indifference of the sky above, and these people's deaths. They come and they go, and there's something extra chilling about that for me.
Well, I know some people
Like,
complained about the end of the movie. Some people were very much like, "Why was there that big thing at the end of the movie?" And I was like, I think that was really good because it kind of it was like the thesis statement of the movie. It was like,
yeah,
sometimes, you know, an animal is just a fucking animal.
yeah,
And sometimes you run across that animal and, you're just fucking lucky to walk away from it at all.
mm-hmm.
And I thought that was good. I did not dislike that. Now, like I said, I've read a bunch of people just shitting on that. But I thought it added to the movie rather than subtracting. But that's just me.
Yeah.
So I can't speak to everyone's enjoyment. I think a movie like this, everyone's enjoyment will vary anyway.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's not a movie for everyone. It really
but it shouldn't be.
Thank you, Spike.
It
No,
shouldn't.
no. And it more power to it that it's not trying to be a crowd pleaser. That it's really trying to be its own thing in a way. It be a slasher, but also stand completely far left afield of all the other slashers out there. It's confident enough, and it's all the yeah, it works so much better in my opinion for being that. Like, it's not giving you what you want necessarily some of the time, except maybe it's what you kind of needed as an antidote to seeing the same thing recycled over and over and over again.
Yeah, I think that's where it really excels is
Mm-hmm.
its ability to be same but different.
Mm-hmm.
Or, again, lack of a better term, it's got what it's got it's got the familiar and an unfamiliar package.
Yeah, yeah, and oh man, it's I was just completely blown away by it. I'm a big fan of slow burn movies. Like, I love the whole all the work of Terrence Malick, and this felt like if Terrence Malick had made a slasher movie. It was divine in that sense, truly. Um, and yeah, like, it's just some just beautiful shots, like when the next setup of kills, when we find these two lovers kind of arguing about like what they want to do with their day. One wants to go do yoga, the other one wants to go skinny dipping. So they kind of split, and the one girl goes out to do yoga on the mountainside, and the other goes to take a swim. And we see Johnny approach the lake and just dip into the water, and then just nothing. Just this, we just see the calmness of the water. And
It's
I
one of
think
the
in the
best to me. It's one
background,
of the best shots of the movie.
yeah,
Because it is definitively just it almost has a Jaws vibe to it.
yeah.
That, he just submerges, and you're like, okay, that is definitively not going to go well for anyone.
No, and like, I think you really nailed it. He's more animalistic than I think any other slasher we've really seen. He's not like, and maybe definitely the filmmaking enhances that, because he he just, if Sean Cunningham directed this, we'd be getting so much TNA, and there'd be, all this like build up suspense music and stuff like that. Instead of us seeing from, I believe the shot is the girl is swimming and then boop, just down and gone. And we know what happened.
You hear her like try to pop up a couple times, but it's just not happening. Like he just, he's a relentless force of nature in this movie.
Yeah.
And it's
and then
quite stunning in how it goes down when it comes to that. Because there's a level of discomfort to seeing that happen. That it's hard, I think, for people to maybe fully wrap their heads around it.
Yeah.
What they're actually seeing is pretty fucking terrifying.
It is.
No, it's not Terrifier. It's not a gore fest.
No.
Yeah, you're not going to get that. You're just not. But what you do get, gore. Yeah, what you do get is gore that is not just for the sake of gore, which I greatly appreciate. And you get, I'm trying to think how to put this. I think you get a couple shocking things, but I don't think they're any more shocking than any Friday the 13th movie. I think they're a little more well done.
I'd say more inventive.
I would agree with that. They are definitively more inventive.
Particularly the next kill, which is.
But they've also got all the time that they've been able to draw from their predecessor to do that. So I think it was like this really interesting. I wouldn't even want to say it's a modernization. It's just like, here's what we learned, from watching Sean Cunningham do his dark work. And we decided
so malevolent. But you're not wrong. He's kind of a dark force.
That was such a McElroy drop right there anyway, so I don't feel too bad.
His dark work. But it's such it's hard to say how much without you seeing it. Like, I don't know if to express like just what.
So here's some things I will point out.
Okay.
First and foremost, it lacks intensity. But that's not the mission statement.
No.
So
okay.
So it doesn't need it. So it doesn't have that. Oh, go ahead.
I'll say there is some intensity that does come when we start to get towards our finale, but then once we think what our finale is going to be, it then subverts that again. Yeah. So there's a brief flash,
and that's the ending.
Yeah,
is you are very much convinced we're getting the classic, he's not dead, he's waiting.
Yeah, we think you're so primed for little Jason to pop out of the water.
Yeah, you've been
feel like that's what you've
literally been trained for that. We've been basically conditioned that that's what we should be expecting.
Yeah, and I think that's masterful.
We've been Pavlov dogged into this. But it's like, but I mean, we really have. This is what we expect from a slasher movie.
I was completely expecting it. I was just like, here's where it comes, and then more time passed. Like, okay, here's where it comes.
Maybe we'll get the beginning of Friday the 13th too, but we'll get it at the end of this movie. Which, if you're aware, that Jason tracks down the one survivor and fucking owns them in their own home. Which I've never been a big fan of, because it's like, oh, so Jason just randomly leaves his house now. He's just like, oh yeah, well, you got away, so now I got to handle my business.
Yeah,
Now
and
it's,
I
now
love
it's
part 2,
Jason time, baby.
but that never made sense to me at all. Yeah, like yeah,
It doesn't. But it doesn't have to. It's a fucking Friday the 13th.
that's true. That's true. You just got to have a loving boy who misses his mom, and that's what that's what Friday the 13th is for me. But yeah, like
Mommy loves you, Jason.
always.
So
He's a sweet boy.
He is a sweet boy. So there's that, which I think is an important thing to kind of remember, I guess, is kind of a big trope. But it just, again, that's not what we get. That's just not what's there for you in this movie.
Yeah.
It's like the movie's almost saying, if that's the shit you wanted, you should have watched Friday the 13th again.
Yeah, yeah. If you want just the old hits, they're out there for you, but we're not doing that. We're playing a whole new tune. We have the same instruments, but we're not playing.
Papa got a brand new bag.
Got a brand new bag. And Papa don't take no mess. So we're taking a different place.
Papa get down on the scene like a sex machine.
Moving, grooving it. You know.
You know it.
Can you hit me off one more time?
Yeah, people out there are like, what are you?
Can you hit me off one more time? Yeah. Sorry, we're discussing our love for James Brown through In a Violent Nature. Get used to it. And so, which to get back on track to following the through line of the movie, we then come to one of the maybe the wildest kill in the entire thing, which is the yoga girl.
The yoga girl is definitely the most like.
That's like I feel where they're like throwing a bone.
Was like, yeah, someone was like, man, I would really like to do this effect, and they were like, well, we can. Well, really, we can, and they were like, yeah, buddy, we could definitely kill that girl in the most horrific fashion.
Yeah, you want to see a human pretzel get pulled through themselves? Yeah, why not? Let's do it.
That's the one I think for me that is like. I felt like when I was watching it, I felt like I was basically saying, okay, you get one.
Yeah, no, I was just like,
get one. You used it up. So let's get back to what we were doing.
And they get kind of near that again with the wood splitter. But pretzels.
The wood splitter one was wild.
I thought that was great. I know there's a lot of people are like, it took so long. But I was just like,
that was the point.
That's kind of the horror of it. Is this guy?
That was the point. Was he was like, "Oh, you're gonna fucking suffer."
Yeah, you see what this is doing.
There's a reason he only broke his neck.
Oh yeah. Oh.
And when he broke it was, oh my god.
That made me like just, cringe. So bad. Because for a second you think, okay, this guy's gonna be he's gonna be our
this guy might make it.
Escaping me right now. Yeah, he's gonna be the Tommy Jarvis, and he's gonna pump. He'll be my boy Tom, but no. He becomes a log of wood to be split, and
he gets wrecked.
And sure, I like that the the practical effects took a dip, but you know what? Practical effects, thank God for them, because I loved it. I thought that was great. It would have been ruined by CG, and so thank God that they did some sweet ass practical effects, because that was such a I don't know, really made my skin crawl, just because it takes enough time that you can sit there with that character, see everything that's coming, know what's coming. And Johnny's kind of like showing off, like very wordlessly, obviously, but like, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah, I really liked that, because it did feel like, okay, this is him legitimately just getting his revenge. Like, this is him going, oh, you locked me up for a while. I heard you say that shit earlier. Yeah. Hey, bud, I heard you talk a bunch of shit. Guess what? I don't hear you talking now.
Yeah. Yeah, like, oh, you think you know you think you can get me back? Okay, no, it's not happening. You guys think you can put me down? No, I'm gonna put myself down after I get my shit back. And in the meantime, I'm gonna get some fucking revenge. And goddamn does he. And it's fantastic. It's so good. And also just a slow death like that is just I like God bless the filmmakers for him, or Bombas bless him, because that was like, any other movie would have made that some like weird, like fast, like
Yeah,
kind
a
of
lot of
thing,
cuts.
and they lingered. They
Yeah, they're like,
lingered. It
here,
was a
this is,
single.
hey, remember, you guys want this? This is what you're gonna get.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's also, I feel like a little bit of a little bit of a to the audience where it's like, oh, you came here for all the blood and gore. Well, how about you sit in the discomfort of this guy before it happens? Stuff in his shoes for a little bit. Because he can't go away and neither can you. And it's
Yeah, it is definitely like
it works.
my thing with that whole kill is I do feel like it goes on a little too long. But it's also like I get it, and I think it's because we're introduced to this idea that this is not their first go around with one another. I liked the idea that this was like, okay, well, there's not going to be another go around. It's like you should have finished the job when you had. That was the other thing, that my only thing about that I didn't like. The only thing that actually kind of irked me was like, you're the guy who put him down. You know how absolutely terrifying he is. Why did you guys do that? Like, I was very much like, I don't understand why. That was one of the only times where I thought it was one of the only times where I was like, this is dumb teenagers doing dumb teenager shit, which was sad because I thought pretty much the rest of the movie was kind of bereft of that. And when they did that, I was like, well, why? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But that was something where I definitely was like, okay, guy, come on.
Yeah, I think they had, I think by following kind of, there's still a little bit of a formula they're following a little bit. So I think that's where they lean into that. And yeah, I mean, and even like we get a little more taste of that, like when, before we get the Ranger kill, we get Johnny picking off those two other dudes,
I love
while
that.
he's playing with that was awesome. Like with the axe. That was amazing.
What I also loved was that, he got the guy, the jockey guy. But that guy like kind of saw him coming. So he actually kind of fights him off.
A little bit.
And then the other guy just fucking shoots him.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh shit. They just, I mean, like we're horror people. So I know you were just the same as I. You should go double tap that shit because he's not dead.
Yeah, no.
If he can even die.
I doubt that. And I mean, because the Ranger gets him with a shotgun, and he gets back up, and and then splits him up.
That made me also feel like this is a character that is more like early Jason, where early Jason's kind of a plotter and a planner, and especially even like the remake Jason, especially, it was almost more Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, I got plans on plans.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the remake Jason because he's got some moves.
It was one of the better remakes out of that like Platinum Doom Michael Bay era of just making remakes of horror.
Yeah, and there's still some shit in there, to be honest. Like the majority of the cast are very forgettable in that, but like
Yeah, I will say
Derek,
Texas Chainsaw Massacre had a much better cast.
much better cast, but Derek Mears, legendary stuntman Derek Mears, just fucking who you might also known as Kick Puncher from Community, just rocks it as Jason.
Yeah, he's killer as Jason.
Yeah, he's so good.
And I know Kane Hodder was very butthurt about all of it, but I hate to be the guy that says it, but Kane, you're not the only guy that can play a mute psychopath.
He's not all he's and I know Kane's got the most Jasons under his belt, but he's not my favorite Jason. He's not even my second favorite Jason. Sorry
really? Who gets the nod? I'm not curious about that.
Okay. This is going to be controversial, but first and foremost, my favorite Jason is Derek Mears in that remake. I just love the physicality he brings to it, especially that opening scene where he just fucking like cruises across the field to machete that dude in the face is amazing. Just great. Next would be Jason from part 4, who was this old crusty stuntman who scared the shit out of Corey Feldman. So kudos to that guy.
Baghead Jason is 2, right?
Yes.
Baghead Jason, whoever that was, is my favorite. Because that guy that guy felt legitimately terrifying. It felt a lot like if you've ever seen The Town That Dreaded Sundown, it felt like the person who in that, where you're just like, there's a little bit of the hulking, heavy breathing pervert vibe, but there's also just this tangible sense. And it's also what I think Hodder does really well for me, me saying talking a whole bunch of shit on Kane Hodder. But one thing Kane Hodder brings to that role that I absolutely love is he's just like, you get the feeling, this vibe that you're watching someone who is literally on the verge of just exploding. Just the way they move and the way, like, there's just this like almost a natural, like, radiating anger and
a lot of rage in his Jason.
Yeah, it's like just I love
contained.
That. Yeah, I absolutely love that. I think it works really, really well. And it's got a flavor to it that is how I want my unstoppable murder machines.
Yeah. Although to say that, I'll say, he is the Jason in my favorite Friday the 13th movie, which is part 6. So, I mean, is that him in 6? Excuse me, I don't think it is. What a fool I am. I think he showed up first.
Idiot.
7. Oh, you idiot, Colin.
You should feel.
But no, he's great.
Very bad.
I do. I feel really bad. I feel
so bad. God damn it, you beat me to it.
I feel so bad.
But guys, I feel so bad.
I may be evil, but I feel good. Sorry, that's Army of Darkness.
I have to say that
and we're also tangent once again.
We're also starting to butt up against time because I have not eaten and I'm a hungry boy. Are you a hungry boy? Okay. Don't go to hungryboy.com because it's exactly what you think it is. Oh no, I went there. Oh no. Don't just put boy skins in your Google search.
Fun.
Humble boy skins.
Yeah, but so to get back on track, there's no real final showdown with
that's something I want to say that I loved.
Yeah,
this movie did not need that.
Yeah, our final girl drops the locket and just goes.
Which to me is something where I immediately was like, "Oh, that ain't enough, lady."
Yeah, I was
you done fucked up.
Yeah, I was like, he's gonna get you no matter what, but no, again.
No, I love actually again another like subversion of expectation. He he doesn't.
Yeah,
he just wants to go back to wherever he was.
Yep.
Doing whatever the hell he was doing. You know?
Yeah, and
except for now he's free, baby. He can just come and go as he want.
I guess so. Yeah, huh?
He's not got a pipe sticking through its insides.
That's right. Yeah, it doesn't have that pipe anymore. And yeah, we get one of the like just a weird setup where you're expecting him to return. You're expecting him to get that final girl.
You're expecting him to smash cut into that vehicle and like pull her out, and she keeps looking, and it's just like this almost like the dread is not from your expectation. The dread is from like every movie you've ever seen in the last like 15 years has done that. It's done that. Well, the final girl thinks he's gotten away, and guess what? She's never going to get away because he's an unstoppable murderer. And instead, it's
especially with like the whole speech that
the lady gives,
like, about her brother getting mauled by a bear or something, or someone being mauled by a bear.
It was her brother, and then he survived. Shit. And yeah, that's what I was talking about. That I really loved was, which people were really hating on, was like that moment in the car at the end, and I was like, really? Because I really liked that.
Yeah,
I liked that kind of tale of survival, because I think it also, that whole thing played off expectation of like, oh, he's right there waiting. And he's not.
Yeah, I was expecting. Yeah, either the girl or the lady were going to get yanked out of the window, but yeah, it didn't happen, and it made me at first go like, huh. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, that's genius. Like, that's truly like it encapsulates the entire just Johnny's whole thing and what this girl went through. She survived this mauling, in a sense of, and
I think the mauling thing also is extremely apt when you think about the last kill, which is less of a kill and it is more of a fucking mauling. That was the one they showed a little bit in the previews where I was like, holy shit, this looks wild. So basically old Johnny boy drops our pseudo lead, I guess. I don't know what you'd call him. Our surviving male protagonist at this point, because he's not going to be surviving much longer.
The final boy.
Johnny drops that fool like a bad habit, and you're like, okay, he's dead. He's going to turn on the girl now. And the girl's just standing there. She's like frozen. And he turns back to the boy and just continues to utterly smash him into non-existence.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, gives her a look and then
he just absolutely destroys that human. I mean, you can't tell it's a person by the end of it. And I thought that was super, super intense. Because you're right. You literally, I expected him just to stomp towards her, but instead she takes the necklace and she because they were going to burn him alive. Or not, they're going to burn him alive. Because he was already dead, So they were going to do him dirty again, like he been done dirty in the past. I don't know what I'm saying anymore.
He done been dirty.
He done been dirty. He been done dirty before. Won't be done dirty again.
Done dirty before.
Could
be done dirty no more.
Oh yes, very good. So we're such giant dorks.
I love it.
So she like when this shit happens, and it happens like relatively like quickly.
Mhm.
He's just getting destroyed.
Mhm.
Which I was like, oh my God.
Mhm. Yeah,
Because
pulverized, like
yeah,
literally.
it is pulverization. It's
Yeah, there's I
it's
don't
hard
think
to
there's anything left of him
express.
but like just glob.
Yeah, it's hard to express just how much they just decimate that dude.
Mhm.
It's and it's the thing. It's like it's not even hard to watch. It's not like you're watching something going, "Oh God, it's too gory." It's more just like, "Wow, that's fucking wild."
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
God damn.
It's like watching seeing someone unleash all their rage on something, and you're just more captivated, not by the violence happening, but more
Despite all my
like
rage,
just
I'm still just a guy on
how
a train. You haven't seen that meme?
No, I
So
didn't. No.
I think I put it in our meme land thing we started.
Oh, I'll have to check it.
It's a meme of Billy Corgan on a tiny train, which apparently you could tell he was like realizing someone was going to see Billy Corgan on said tiny train. And he has this look of just infinite disappointment on his face. And memes started to circulate about it. And one was beside how does it even go now? I can't even say it.
Besides all my rage.
Um, Despite all my rage, I'm
Yeah,
still
yeah.
just a guy. I'm still just a guy on a train. There's another one too that's how today is the greatest day I have ever known. And he's just on a tiny train, and it's just, yeah, it's.
Oh God, no. Yeah, I've seen it. It's in my head now. Yeah. Not to also, but one of my favorite clips of Billy Corgan of all time, and it's very recent. In the middle of one of his Smashing Pumpkin shows, he just goes and leans on a speaker and starts eating some chips and cheese, like just, just like,
Hey man,
what?
being a genius is hard
Yeah,
work.
rocking's, yeah, it's hard to
Do you
rock.
know?
You need a carbo load.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, all I can think of is despite all my fame, I'm still
Yeah,
just a guy in a train.
I think we finally derailed the entire thing. Which, yeah,
So
we
yeah,
did it.
anyway, that ending I think is something that also helps elevate this movie beyond just like low budget slasher fare.
Yeah.
If we're kind of doing the A24 comparison bullshit,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't call this at all elevated horror.
Yeah, it's not prestige horror. It's not elevated. But
it's definitely got other shit going on.
Yeah, I'd say where A24's content usually is what or how do I say this? Like the style elevates this so much more, and the script too, because it's all I don't know. It doesn't. I mean, I love A24, but it's not trying as much as A24 is trying to be like, look how fucking smart we are. It's taking just a tried and true kind of thing and saying, look how we can change this. Look how we can do this different in a way that sets us apart from the rest of the pack.
I look at it as being someone taking it's the Boys in the Hood cover is what it is. It's a bunch, the boys
Is in the hood are always hard.
That's what it is.
It is.
The OG is great. but it's definitely within its own wheelhouse of what it is.
Yeah.
And it's just someone remixing that into something that's
Wildly different,
similar,
but just as enjoyable. Yeah.
yeah, but it's different enough that, you know, it's got its own thing going on.
Yeah, it's no easy E, it's more drop chord E.
Oh, look at you, just leaving them and
I don't know
leaving
if
them
that even makes
stunned.
sense. But yeah, and
Does it have to?
No. And unlike anything, it doesn't, it doesn't really have sequel bait to it at all. Even
It
though I
is
know
a
we're
movie
getting
that
one.
should not have a sequel, in my opinion.
It's getting one. It was announced at the San Diego Comic-Con that In a Violent Nature 2 will be happening. But, even with that said, like, just the elusiveness of the ending just is so perfect. It's just like he got what he wanted, and he's gone back to rest, and I don't know. We'll see.
That's why I don't feel it needs
one holds.
That's why I feel like it doesn't. It absolutely positively does not need a sequel. Is because of that.
Yeah.
It should be
good. It couldn't be the top, but
yeah, it should be a movie where we get the one story, and I what I would think would be interesting as a sequel is if you don't do it the same way as you did it last time. Now, if you want to come at it from the viewpoint of we're going to try something so wildly different stylistically and do this almost like not just like an anthology about a character, but like an actual anthology of like different ways to make a film about said character, I would be all about that.
That's a great idea.
I just don't think they're going to do that.
Yeah.
Because I don't think anybody wants to do that, to be honest with you. I think for almost every filmmaking,
once you hit that formula that
producer,
works,
they have no desire in fucking with like, this is what made us money. Mm-hmm. In this case, I don't think it made the money. I think it's that this is what brought all the boys to the yard. It's better than yours.
Mm-hmm. So, this had its milkshakes out for sure.
It had all of its milkshakes out.
Yeah, it's a perfect single film as it is. And here's hoping that the sequel is good, but if not, just keep returning to this because they nailed it. It's truly art with a lovely horror wrapping, I feel like.
Yeah, it is something completely different.
Mm-hmm.
As far as an execution, I won't say it's something completely different in what it is, because I don't think it is. But what it is it's a slasher in a way you've never seen before. Mm-hmm. Told in such an interesting fashion.
Yeah.
It really, it's hard to explain just how different it is.
I'd put it up there with like Candyman. Like you've got this kind of boogeyman character, but the way they tell that movie, the way the music works with Philip Glass on it, putting it in an urban setting the way it is, Cabrini Green and all that, it makes just this different beast. And here's hoping, unlike Candyman sequels, it doesn't.
You don't get that beautiful law of diminishing returns.
Yeah, but it's one of those things that comes along and just does stuff just so it takes a formula that we've all seen, we're all familiar with, but does it so differently and knows what it's about and what it wants to do so deftly that it just becomes this spellbinding new experience.
Yeah, it's definitely going to take your expectations and flip them on mm-hmm. their head.
Yeah.
It's made to do that, and it does it extremely well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's one thing I do truly, truly, truly enjoy about it is that it's full blown, just kind of looks at what you think you want and says, well, that's not what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
You
And
think you
like it or not,
think you want this, but Papa got a brand new bag,
Mhm.
and that brand new
Mhm.
bag is
And you don't
full
take no
of
mess.
it's full of fucking amazing shit you didn't know you wanted.
Yeah, yeah. Especially for these two cats back here, ladies and gentlemen. Like, yeah, I think we can both agree this was something special, and it really kind of
where do you put it now that we're kind of
oh
wrapping up? Where do you, when you look at this movie, where does it fit? Is it because I don't think it's entry level at all. And I'll tell you one
not at
reason
all.
why. Because my wife and I are watching Salem's Lot right now. We're a little over halfway through it. And
Which one?
the OG Toby
OG?
Hooper, OG. And
Yeah.
she is having a hard time making it through it. Because I do
Really?
think, not because she doesn't like it, but because it's slow. And like when I was thinking about that, I was like, man, you know, and it's and I'm not going to turn this into an old man yells at clouds bullshit, because I hate that, and I do it a little more than I would like to admit it. I think it is a matter of I'm a little older, and we watched movies that were fucking slow. You know, there was such a thing as like that slow sense of dread, you know, that you got from certain films. And you know, that's not a thing anymore. That's why we get Blumhouse movies. And again, no shame on Blumhouse. You're making money, you do your thing, baby.
They've got some good stuff.
They
a lot of stuff that's not so good though.
But they're built on the backs of popcorn horror. You know, they're built on the backs of jump scare. And that's fine, because it makes them money.
I mean,
in all honesty, it's kept horror alive. So
even the stuff I love from them has jump scares, like Invisible Man. There's some
Invisible Man's great,
really good,
seriously a great movie.
Yeah,
but
there's the jumps. Yeah,
it is a fucking Blumhouse movie though. Don't get it fucking twisted. I mean, they will remind you every chance they get, because that's what they do. That's the movie they make, you know.
Yeah, they've settled into a really good formula. But it makes them money, and they can make these movies cheap. And I think that's you know, they figured out their business formula more.
And I think if they can keep the momentum and keep being like this place where people want to go make movies, then what happens is, you know, it's kind of, I can't remember who we were talking about, who you and I were talking about, and their whole, like, this was a make good movie. Do you remember who that was? We were talking about some director. Was it shitty? It was the guy, Neil Marshall.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Blumhouse, in a lot of ways, to me, is the make good studio. Because by doing the stuff that they do, we get other shit I actually want. Because the theaters don't die for horror.
Yeah. Like you know, I'm not to knock them, but like Marvel movies, like it keeps theaters going.
Fucking Old Man Yells at Clouds directors just like realize, guys, if the mouse ain't pumping movies out, you ain't got jobs.
That's true. I mean,
yeah, you about it all you want, but at the same time, like, realize, like, the days of old ain't coming back.
That's true. And like, I think Sebastian Stan just recently said it. Like, he's like, you know, you can't make a good movie every single time. talking about Marvel movies, but it's like, this allows us all in this industry, these movies that are successful and even do bring in a lot of money, even when they're not the best. It allows us to go do other things, directors to go and do other projects, actors to have other venues to go and do other things. So, I mean, especially now when you got to compete against streaming, it's good to still have stuff to go out to the theater for. That is actually I mean, like, I saw Longlegs in the theater. That was one of the best experiences I've had in the theater in such a long time, and I was so happy to see that. And we might not have had that, if we didn't have, these big kind of like Mouse House Pictures and shit like that, propping up theaters that are keeping butts in seats and stuff. So, with that, we still get a chance to have these fun, little weird, freaky movies and stuff like that.
You little freaks.
Yeah.
No, and I agree.
Freaks.
I think it's important to remember that, and not let horror get up its own ass too much.
Yeah.
Because I do think there's times where certain directors and certain folks get far too up their own ass, and they, and it's not just horror.
Mm-hmm.
There's other people who can't wait to tell you how important their work is.
Yeah. Like, I love Martin Scorsese, but you know what? Like, Marty, you're not bringing everyone into the theater like you used to back in like the 70s and 80s and 90s. We're like 30 years out from that. You got to understand.
Your movies you're making, they're not bad movies, but they're not important works of art like you want to believe they are.
Yeah.
Martin Scorsese's made some real fucking mediocre movies, and he's made some bombs at the box office. And sometimes we get in this situation in modern popular culture where there's an entire group of people who, just love to sniff their own farts. And like, I'm not down for the fart sniffing, boys. Like, keep that shit to yourself. Like, if you want to be a fart sniffer, that's fine. But I'm not going to I'm not going to join in your fart sniffing rounds. Like, it's like, don't, like, if you need to tell me how great you are and how everyone else is shit, you're not that great. Because the reality is,
it's now just a bunch of grapes.
We should be able to figure that shit out on our own. Like, if you have to tell me how great your shit is, not right. All right, Michael Elgin. Because I read a thing this week about how he's trying to become a thing again, and he's trying to be like, all those claims against me, they were just not true, and I'm a good guy. And it's just like, dude, you're a shitbag. Like, you were always a shitbag. Like, and I just remember going to that show.
You broke our hearts.
I just remember going to that show and him being like bitching about the crowd. And it's like, hey man, motherfuckers paid money to come here. Like, just because you can't get over doesn't mean the crowd's bad. It means you're shit.
Yeah.
Not to get it off on a wrestling tangent, but I saw that and I was just thinking, and it was like by a reputable website too. That's what really pissed me off. Really got me up in a dander. Was just like, you're really just gonna give him a fucking pass on all that? Like, just because dude is like says that that's like, apparently that's just what we're gonna go with now. Well, I'm telling you that I have reason. Here's all these things that no one else can account for except for me, and see how they ruined my life. It's like, buddy, you put yourself in those situations. You can't go like, just because some bad people are bad, that doesn't make Michael Elgin bad. Michael Elgin good. Michael Elgin smash. It's like, no, fuck off, man. Like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get off on a wrestling tangent at all. It's not my intention. It was not my. I just got real irritated by that whole fucking thing, because it was just like, yo, dog, fuck you. Hey, man. Sorry.
Yeah. No. Michael Elgin deserves no respect. No respect.
I will not put some goddamn respect on your name.
Respect on your name. Never, ever again. There was a
All
time,
right.
possibly, yes.
So you didn't tell me, where would you put this? I got too Elgin enraged. I guess we should just be happy that I didn't get so enraged I threatened a woman. I mean, because according to him, that's just okay now, I guess. Shitbag.
I would put this not this remind me of what our rankings are again. Actually,
think about it like school. Think about it like in the aspect of like grades. So like high school, college, graduate school.
College.
Yeah, I think this one's a little bit more of a. It's a little more to parse than and I also think it requires a lot more patience.
Also, it would help to go through the high school of slasher films that are preceding it, just to really see what this is doing and how it's doing things so differently.
Or as another shitbag would say, what's all this they're talking about? What's all this? I can't remember how he even says it anymore because I hate him so fucking much.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. I'm just I'm in a hateful mood. I feel bad being so hateful. But
where's the lie? There's another shitbag. Another wrestling shitbag.
Which shitbag are we talking? Are you talking about Pep? Oh, I thought you were talking about
Bobby
Pepsi.
Fish.
I thought you were talking about Pepsi Phil because
got
a little love for Pepsi Phil, a little bit there.
His thing is saying, "Tell me when I'm telling lies."
Tell me when
I'm telling lies.
Yeah, no, Pepsi Phil's A-okay with me.
Yeah, Pepsi Phil, I'm good with Pepsi Phil. Just like, what's the
Bobby
song?
Fish broke my heart though.
Jesus is just all right with me. Like that song.
Pepsi feels just all right with me.
Pepsi feels just all right.
I'm always hateful. Embrace it. Too true. We're like gray Jedi over here. You know what I'm saying? We're walking that line between the light and the dark.
Yeah, you live just long enough to be the bad guy.
Super Spike, how dare you?
Fuck Pepsi Phil. I'm sorry. Do you want to have a fist fight with me?
What do you hate that man for? His love for his wife and his dog? He's an angel. He also supports small bakeries.
Because I'm sorry, if you're hating on him because of AEW, that's more of a you problem than a Pepsi Phil problem. Because AEW's a shit show.
Shots fired.
It is.
Although
AEW is a fucking E-Fed run by a guy who's got enough money to actually make people do Dance Monkey dance for him.
Yeah. I would just suggest everyone check out the NFL documentary on Tony Khan. It's amazing.
I would love Tony a lot more if he didn't just do the dumbest shit humanly possible on a regular basis.
If he hired some bookers, that would fucking do that, please. You've got such amazing talent there. Hire some bookers, please.
Hire some Booker T's.
Please hire Booker T. Oh my God. Please don't let Mark Henry go. Don't let all these other
the problem is the real problem with this whole thing, and I'll lay it out real simplistically for everybody.
We're turning this into such wrestling.
The problem is it was all good in the hood as long as those EVPs had what they wanted. As long as they were running the show and it was just the boys from Reseda, then we were good.
Not fans. Not a fan of them. I will say
I've grown to hate them because they literally are everything they said they didn't like about wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they are.
Yeah.
And they are people who are so far up their own asshole. It's amazing that they can fucking see the sun.
Yeah.
They're literally have turned themselves into a meme, and not in a good way.
Yeah.
Not in a JD Vance fucks couches way. They're just literally you just hate Cult of Personality, the song. Well, that's a fucking problem between you and In Living Color. And if you hate In Living Color, you're racist. What? Did I just say that out loud?
I think you did, but it's okay.
Racist?
Also, how dare you, sir? Because Corey Glover is a national treasure, or he should be. He should be.
No,
lead singer.
I'm not calling you a racist for real.
No, Spike, we love you. We're having fun.
Just for play. Not for real. So right? my thing about it, honestly, is, you know, where else was he going to go? Oh, you love that song. You just like it's attached to him. That's fucking good. That's funny. Sorry about that. We both were like, you hate In Living Color, you
reading
son
comprehension.
Of a bitch.
Reading comprehension.
It's fundamental.
Many promises to you, Spike, and many apologies. We just double teamed you for no reason.
Yeah, not in a good way.
No, not in a fun way where everyone's like sweaty at the end. And we all want to have a sandwich.
Everyone's like, good times, baby, good times.
Good times. Let's do this next weekend.
Yeah. You guys going for Christmas? Yeah, I don't mind that at all. I do. I enjoy Pepsi Phil. I enjoy Pepsi Phil probably because he is a misanthrope, and because I too can be a misanthrope. So I find that like to be slightly endearing.
Yeah. Plus, the one thing I do appreciate also about him is like all the wrestlers that I do like at AEW were always like, yeah, he was cool to me. He was always giving me good advice and shit like that.
Yeah, I think in the end, what it really was all about was you had two trains of thought on how wrestling should be done. And don't get me wrong, I love fucking PWG to an almost a natural degree. But the problem with PWG is PWG. There's a reason that the only reason they left Reseda was because they fucking tore the building down. Because whenever they talked to Super Dragon of like, you could make so much more money if you guys did this, his answer was, I don't want to do that. Because it didn't matter to him. And I respect the fuck out of that. And you can do that when you're running a show, you know, sometimes once a month with your buddies. But when you're literally a potentially multi-billion-dollar company, can't do that shit anymore. I mean, you just can't. There's other people involved. And as much as you want to run a company like a family, and again, man, I appreciate that. But you know what? How many times have you worked somewhere where they have said, we're like a family? We're a family here. No, we're not. You pay me a fucking wage to show up.
I'm with you on that, Spike. R-Truth is amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about him, but I love that guy.
R-Truth lives his dream, man.
Never retire, R-Truth.
He lives his fucking dream. Dude, like unapologetically.
He's also a fucking phenomenal wrestler.
Yeah, the biggest miss with him was when he came back from TNA and he had been NWA World Champion, and they did nothing with that. He got legitimized there, and WWE was like, "Can you come back and shuck and jive for us?"
Yeah,
because that's what Vince wants.
Yeah,
Vince loves one black man, and his name's R-Truth. But he doesn't love him so much he won't make him get out there and shuck and jive.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, fuck Vince. Fuck Vince McMahon.
And also,
he and Hulk Hogan
and another
can
thing,
fly off.
Besides Vince being, licking the sweat off my nuts.
He'd like that.
He probably would.
And then he'd want to shit on you.
All these old dudes, like I love Mick Foley, but Mick, you can't be a good guy and say with Vince, well, I don't like to, mess with the memory of all of that because I don't know what really happened. Fuck you. Like for real.
Dude. Well, yeah, he's done a lot of bad stuff, but there's some people he really went out of his way to help. Yeah, with I'm sure fucking horrible strings attached. So fuck Vince McMahon.
Yeah. Sorry. I saw a thing about him talking about that. Well, bury the cockroach. And I was just like, oh, not you, Mick.
Yeah. Well, he's always trying to be a nice guy. Always.
You know what?
Always.
Sometimes, you know what? It's like the fucking great Patrick Swayze says, because he's deceased, but his ghost still speaks to me. He said, be nice till it's time to not be nice.
Ooh.
Yeah, you heard that shit just right. I just quoted some motherfucking Roadhouse. What you own, do.
Hell yeah.
Anyway, I don't know what just happened. I just went into a fugue state there for a little bit and was just on a complete weird rampage but not rampage because that show sucks. I'm sorry. I am just hating relentlessly on the GameStop of wrestling that is AEW.
I love that like half an hour ago we ended the horror portion of our show and now it's been the horrors of wrestling.
Yes.
It's
fucking Spoop Troop After Dark.
After Dark.
Listen, as one fat ginger goes mad with power.
And one weird middle-aged dude sit here and just cackles away and agrees with everything he says.
Middle-aged man.
Middle-aged. No.
You don't remember that skit on Saturday Night Live? Now I'm just turning into member.
No.
Yeah, there was a skit called Middle-Aged Man.
Remember Church Lady?
I do remember Church Lady. We're not going to do this. We're not just going to go into fucking full-blown members. Member? I remember.
Ooh, Full-Blown Members was my punk band in high school.
God damn it, that's a really good name. I'm pissed that you got that before me. I'm legitimately upset at you right now. You just worked yourself into a shoot, brother.
Super Spike, are you trying to make my blood pressure rise? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Oh, God damn it. So those of you who will watch us in the future and go, well, those guys really had some interesting thoughts on In a Violent Nature, and then they went way, way, way out there. All I can say is at least we didn't reveal ourselves to be like QAnon nuts or secret Republicans.
Yeah, no, we just have really extreme thoughts on the state of wrestling that aren't too extreme, to be honest. If
we're saying fuck you to people, fuck you, Colt Cabana. You asshole.
Oh, I'll get on that train. Yeah.
That guy's a dick.
Oh, yeah. No, I remember the stories I heard. Yeah. Nah, fuck that dude.
I was just trying to do my goddamn wrestling job.
I got some inside juice from you on that guy. He seems like a real toolbox.
Well, it wasn't even that. It was just all I was trying to do was going, hey, we're calling your match later. Can you give me your stuff? Yeah, how you want it called? And he was just like, we're not gonna buy any t-shirts and you just get out of the way. It's like, okay, man. No one's here buying any of your fucking ridiculous shirts right now, Colt. So could you, I don't know, not be a complete fuckhead? Oh wait, you can't. That's right. That's why your best friend hates you now. God, I am full of piss and vinegar tonight. So sorry out there to everybody.
I just want to also say, fuck Joey Ryan. Whatever he's up to, whatever rock he's crawled under.
He found Jesus.
That guy.
He found Jesus, and Jesus told him to go away. Jesus was like, "No, man,
get away from me.
I don't want anything to do with your ass. You giant little, you pervert, you tiny perv."
Dude. Mick Foley also was a fan of him, so yeah. Look, he made everyone smile. It's just like Mick.
Yeah, he did.
No,
he touched them inappropriately. No, Joey Ryan, it really, really upsets me because, man, my wife loved Joey Ryan, and
everyone loved Joey Ryan.
She got to meet Joey Ryan right before all that shit came out. Took a picture with him, bought a shirt and all that stuff, and then all that came out, and she was like, "Well, now I want to burn this."
Oh no, that's the worst, man. When you meet someone that you're a huge fan of, and then
like David Starr.
Oh, I forgot about David Starr.
I met David Starr at a first event, and I was stoked.
Oh,
and then less than a month later, guess who turns out to be the fucking worst?
Yeah, man, I was a huge fan of him too. That's yeah, he's bleh.
Yeah,
no yeah.
No one gives a shit. So, nor should they.
No,
they should be like, who is this? Who is this guy who won't fucking just end his podcast? It's fucking dumb show. So you can find. Where can you find? Where can you be found?
You can find,
but where could not find you?
You can find me sometimes in the Mines of Moria with Beard. Sometimes you can find me. You might
be finding me there sooner rather than later once I get that fucking severance check.
Lovely. I'm excited for that.
Jesus said, "New phone, who this?" Oh, wait, I don't know you. Stop calling me. Are you telling him? Oh, wait, I'm going through a tunnel.
Oh, I'm going through her. Prep school, but I won't be there this Sunday. I've got my kids with me.
Your kids
this
are
Tuesday,
goddamn adorable. I just want you to know that.
Yeah, they're the best, and I love them to death. And Killian and Maeve, if you ever watch this, Daddy loves you. That was weird. And then you can find us too.
You did like work real hard to make it weird there. I just want to
you can find us hating on people every Tuesday or Thursday on alternating weeks. This next Tuesday we're doing some Mega Mega, I believe. And then Thursday of the following week, hopefully, if work is good, we'll be doing something spoopy as well. You can find me on the Hidden Path when the Hidden Path is happening, and then coming up in November, you can find me doing some Extra Life nonsense. But it's not nonsense; it's for a really good.
It's a good cause.
So, yeah, really good cause. So show up for that, everybody. And yeah, that's it. Oh, and I do personal training stuff online or in your home. You just have to let me in.
He's just like an old WWE pay-per-view. He just wants to be in your house.
In your house. And if you could like make like me a sandwich when I'm there, and like make like a little bed out of newspaper, I'll just be in the corner. I won't bother you. Just let me in.
Let the boy
not really, but really. Just let him in your house. And yeah, you could also find me gaming on Xbox or Steam. Creeping Colin is my handle. So yeah, that's me.
Hating on folks on the reg. That should be our new show.
Hating on folks. We could do like 3 hours of that. Hating on the reg.
Hating on the reg. Hating on the reg.
Ooh.
I'm your King Ginger. I am a ball of hate. As they would say on the old milk and cheese cartoons, love me with money or I will hate you with hammers. That's who I be. So I can be found, I don't know, like probably Sunday. My schedule also might be up a little bit up in the air just because I'm trying to figure out this whole, this job situation.
Yeah.
And I'm a lot like Mil Mascaris. I don't do jobs. So, no,
we're going through changes.
Changes, turn and face my butt.
Your butt. Ooh.
Yeah.
We're making it all weird tonight.
That's right, baby.
But you know what? That's what happens when you're in a violent nature.
Yes.
And you can find me here being a peptic ulcer.
Just bomb us. Just